Hey guys, I have a short little match here today with marat569 from YouTube in the TPX chat. I was just trying out some new Pokemon like I'm doing a lot recently, and so he wanted to battle, and here we go. So we both lead with Azelf. He's going to go with a U-turn, and at first I thought that he'd win a speed tie, but I think after watching the battle again that thing is choice scarfed. So he just goes for the U-turn, gets some pretty decent damage on my Azelf. He's going to take my Levitate as I set up the Stealth Rocks. Anyway, so I really don't want this thing to go like T-Wave or anything on any of my teams, so I'm just going to try to taunt it before I switch. And he ends up going for a Mirror Coat, so that bounces the taunt back. The bounce back really isn't too much of a problem, basically because, you know, I already set up the Stealth Rocks, and I already tried to taunt, and those are my two moves that I even try to do anyway. So yeah, I go out into the Force, just because if he does have the T-Wave with the Mirror Coat, I still... this is like the best thing I could possibly have T-Waved. Not to mention, I don't think he'll be able to do too much to me with either Thunderbolt or Ice Beam or whatever. So I'm just going to go for the Calm Mind now on the switch. He ends up going back into his Azelf, and I was kind of thinking that he'd U-turn again because it's super effective, and I just don't think that he has anything better to do after a Calm Mind, unless it's completely physical, but even then, probably not. So I decided to go for a Psychic on the switch, and he ends up going into his Conkeldurr, which is hilarious because that's the best thing that could have probably happened. I don't even know what he was possibly thinking. Maybe I don't know. But that was pretty awesome for me because I take out Conkeldurr, I think 2 battles in a row without like any problem whatsoever. So anyway, he goes out into his Azelf again, going to U-turn. I kind of figured he'd do that again, but I'm going to just go for the Recover because it's going to heal me, and I knew he'd do that. So he goes out into Espeon, and I'm not really sure what this guy's going to do. I decided to go for a Calm Mind, thinking maybe this guy is going to try to Shadow Ball me, because I know that Espeon can carry Shadow Ball. But he ends up going Calm Mind himself, which is pretty bad for me, actually, because like I said, I see Espeon carry Shadow Ball a lot, and considering my only 2 attack moves on the Force is Psychic and Focus, Focus Blast. This is not a battle I can win, so I decided to go out into my Chansey, which I'm using because it's not a Blissey, and I know, everyone who watched my battles knows I hate Blissey, and I would never ever consider using it again. I think I used it once, actually. So I decided to try a Chansey, because, you know, Chansey isn't quite as gay as Blissey, and it's not Blissey. And, yeah. It's actually, with the Evolite Stone, there's actually a reason to use Chansey over Blissey. But of course, you know, I guess the Pokemon gods tell me that I shouldn't even be able to use Chansey, because not only does he have the hidden power fighting, but he gets a crit with it when I was trying to wish to get my health back, and that really stinks. So, I think that's just, you know, God trying to tell me, TheKillerNacho, I don't even want you using Chansey because it's gay. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. That's probably the only time I'll ever use that Chansey. Shame, too, because even though I really hate Blissey, I know it's a good Pokemon. And Chansey, while it probably still isn't as good as Blissey, it's still a pretty good Pokemon. It fills the same role. Anyway, so I'm just going to go for the Bullet Punch to finish off the Espeon, thinking he'd stay in and predict, but he does, so that's good. And then he goes out into Azelf for some reason, which I have no idea why. I end up getting a crit, but I don't think it mattered. I thought I could probably take it out with a Choice Band Bullet Punch at that point anyway. So anyway, he goes out into Jellicent, and obviously I have to switch now. I end up going into Rudolph, predicting the burn, and I was so right, and which is so awesome, because I have guts on this Rudolph, obviously. And I really don't like this Pokemon, Conkeldurr, because I think it looks like a giant clown, and I just think it's stupid. But it is pretty decent. I decided to try it, and it's pretty nice, because I did get a burn off on it. Now, a lot of people like running, like, Toxic Orb and Flame Orb on theirs, but I don't. I prefer Leftovers just because, normally I can get a status on it another way, like just how I did right now, predicting a Will-O-Wisp. So it's not really that big of a deal. Anyway, he taunts me, which sucks because I was trying to set up a bulk up and it didn't work. I go for the Payback, which does almost kills him. I'm kind of surprised it didn't, because he did attack me, and I do have my Guts boost, but yeah, Jellicent's a pretty powerful thing. And then I make a pretty bad misclick. I end up going for a fighting move against a Ghost type, but because I misclicked, and it's not because I didn't know this was a Ghost type. I did, actually. It's just that, like, when I was watching, like, I literally didn't even know I misclicked until I was watching it, and I'm like, wait a minute, why did I just go Mach Punch? I guess I hit the wrong button. I don't know, I guess. Which really stinks, though, because now he's going to be able to kill me. And if he hadn't killed me, yeah, I'd still be almost dead, but at least I'd be able to get a Mach Punch off on Porygon 2 or Shaman. but that kind of stinks. So anyway, I go into Scissor, and I make another great play, going for the pursuit, thinking he'd switch, and he does, so I predicted pretty nicely with Scissor in this match. Anyway, he goes out into Shaman, and I know they pretty much always carry Hidden Power Fire, so I'm just going to go out into the Force to take it, because I think the Force is probably the best thing I can take it at this point. And yeah, I know he probably has the Seed Flare, and it'll probably KO at this point, but I decided to try to stay in and go for a Psychic. And he does end up killing me. I mean, it is a Life Orb Seed Flare. I kind of didn't expect to live, so oh well. Anyway, so now I'm just going to go back into Pixie Dust because I do have Fire Blast on this guy, so he doesn't obviously want to take a Fire Blast. He's going to switch back into Porygon 2, but of course I miss with Fire Blast anyway because Fire Blast never hits for me. And yeah, that's life, I guess, when you're the Killer Nacho. So I'm just going to go for a U-turn because I have nothing absolutely to do to a Evilite Stone Porygon 2. So now I'm going to go back into Scizor because I know the worst thing he could possibly do is Thunderbolt me, and that's what he ends up doing, and it doesn't actually do a whole lot, so that's not bad. I'm going to go for the Superpower, which I really thought would KO. I mean, this is a Choice Band Scizor, which is ridiculous attack, and it's a pretty powerful fighting move, Superpower, but I guess Evilite Porygon 2 is even more awesome than I thought it was. He ends up going for a Thunderbolt and getting the Parahax, which is just disgusting, because I at least get the 2-hit KO if I didn't get the Parahax, but now he's faster, so he'd be able to, like, recover and stall me out, so I have to switch. So I go out into my Blitz, and I basically go out here expecting to win. This is a, This is the set that I have Close Combat and Rock Polish on, so obviously I'm going to go Rock Polish here. I don't think he has the Thunder Wave at this point, and he ends up not having it. He ends up having the Ice Beam, which doesn't kill me, and now that I have a Rock Polish, I know I can outspeed Shaman, so I'm just going to go finish off this Porygon 2 with Close Combat, and the Shaman will also die to a Close Combat at the, health it is at, because, Blitz is just freaking that awesome with Life Orb and a million attack and Close Combat, which is ridiculously powerful. Nothing can really withstand it. Yeah. So that was a good game, marat569. He's a pretty nice YouTube battler himself. Make sure you check him out. Link in the description. And I can't believe I've actually battled, like, what, 4 days in a row? Just, yeah. I mean, I'm getting to the point that I'm, this summer semester, and job is starting to settle in, so I might be able to post some more battles than I did earlier in the summer, but we'll see how that goes. Let's see, today's question of the day is, actually, a good one. What is a Pokemon that you just won't use for one reason or another? Obviously, I already said this in the battle, I never will use Blissey, because I just hate it. It's just a fat, pink piece of crap gay Pokemon. I mean, they're all female, so they are really gay. But still, I just never liked Blissey. I never liked fighting. Actually, sometimes I do like fighting Blissey, just because I like to kill them, but it's almost like Pikachu. Actually, Pikachu is another pretty good option for me. I will never use a Pikachu, I will never use a Blissey, and I guess I'll probably never use a Chansey again either, just because, I don't know. I thought that maybe I could use a Chansey, but then, he got critted with a Hidden Power Fighting, so I don't even want to use Chansey anymore. Screw everything. But anyway, so leave a comment about a Pokemon you'll just never use, even no matter how good it is, you'll just never use it for one reason or another, just because you don't like it, or for some other reason. But anyway, yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Peace out.